All right, we're back, and this has become a long-winded adventure. So, first, we're going to listen to the tune and get to the end because I realize you got to get to the end of the song before I think you, without taking in the end, I fall short every time.
My first name is a random set of numbers and letters and other alphanumerics that changes hourly forever. My last name, 1,000 vowels fading down a sinkhole to a susurrus. It couldn't just be John Doe or Bingo. My address, a made-up language written out of living glyphs, lifted from demonic literature and religious texts. Telephone uncovered by purveyors of the Ouija, then checked against the CBGB women's room graffiti. My socialist Sudoku, my age is obscure. My in case of emergency is in the daisies chasing birds. Employed by trillionaires with perfect teeth and pores, and people who open doors for the people who open doors. My medical history is a course at SUNY Buffalo, charlatan psychiatry and troubleshooting undertow. Nervous in the service still, I'm burger meat and purple pills here. Thank you, but call your name, sure you will. Skipped lunch. I'm shrunk. Back up all your manias, you're sitting in a waiting room, you're dreaming of Arcadia, you're feeling like a baby tooth, the waiting panacea, channeling your inner Beowulf in purgatory just before you pay up to fillet yourself and others. In the name of help, cold on a conveyor belt, in an ego death alone, no telephone from Gabriel. I'm half a human, combing over home and garden stoned, gold chains over turtlenecks, cigars over cologne, 1,000 shitty paintings wrap around a wounded animal, womb with the Schubert, he's a future human.
Okay. So I got lost in a bunch of stuff. But man, do I love using the hang in there kitty meta discussion. So I think that's funny that that's in the background, and I didn't notice that till the fourth time through. Because I get stuck on a few. With the video, you realize it's therapy based. Okay, so I get it. All right, at least I hope I get that part. Then a lot of it is self-analysis, and we're only halfway through, so I want to kind of shut my pie hole. But I do like in there, hang in there, you know? If you could break it all down there to a motivational poster, there's pros and cons to that, isn't there?
Paintings wrap around a wounded animal, womb with the Schubert, he's a future human cannonball. Little fuckers fighting, mother hiding in her Hulu. I'm climbing up the stucco, let's get to the seppuku, That pretty penny turned the prickly into Benji. If you save up all your winnings, then you get to count your blessings. I finally crunched the budget up and punched the button. She called my name out and pushed me into an oven. The fuck? I'm shrunk.
So, this is why we're on the fourth reaction. I didn't even get this far a bunch of times. And it certainly didn't get this far in 3.5 minutes. 4 minutes. And I needed to. Because this is where it all opened up for me. I would have... So, man, it was super messy. Well, what happened on the first one is I'd went off for about like 10 minutes. Then I finally got to the end of the song, and I'm like, well, there's why I don't know, and that's why I didn't know anything. Then I figured, okay, I'll switch to the video. I helped, because that made it quite clear what was going on. The video game juxtapositioning only covers the therapy that's actually being discussed, which... When we get to these bars, it doesn't matter if you're listening to a studio track or the video. It's pretty it becomes very evident what's going on.
She says, I'm not your enemy. I said, that sounds like something that my enemy would say. Instead of playing off the chemistry, she said, you're being difficult. I said, I'm being guarded. You're $250,000 in debt. I get more guidance from my barber. Look, I'm not good at this. I grew up in a noogie fest. You built your walls up high or said goodbye to all your cookie puss. Here's one. Every time my telephone buzzes, I see images of hooded riders setting fire to hundreds. She said, when you start getting all expressive and symbolic, it's impossible to actualize an honest diagnostic. I said, when you start getting all exact and algebraic, I'm reminded it's a racket, not a rehabilitation. Okay, agree to disagree as grown-ups from opposing clans, honoring the push and pull. I should have called the Scholamance. Oh well. Preservation is a doozy. Will you be needing another appointment? Absolutely. I'm shrunk.
And successful therapy. Successful session. And now I didn't need to get that far. These last bars, what happened is it just poured back in. And I think it was the last reaction I had since. So it's like, pour back in, and I'm like, oh, therapy and treatment and this and that. And the difference is I did not engage in these activities because I had some personal problems. I have tons of personal problems that I figured out by going to therapy. But I think I've showed this before. But therapy started at that abrupt stop. Okay, right there. And then I mentioned to the nice people in the hospital that I said, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I said, I probably did that on purpose. I'm sad. Well, it was the HMO, the beginning of the HMO period, and they fast-tracked me into help. Oh, I got to let the dog out. Long story short, Pancho, hold on, buddies. I'll get you in a minute. I discovered my neuroses. I think that's the right word. Many, many years ago, and have dealt with it to be able to get to this point, which is probably like being able to deal with it and get to a point of being a successful rap artist or something. I am not comparing. I'm saying making amends where you have enough peace in yourself and you know you enough to do what you got to do. But I really liked it. I thought it is good, but it just was a lot. Hold on. Ooh, I love that little guy, but he is a handful. All right, so the long and short is I'm not as triggered by it as I thought. It just took a while to understand that I'm not in the same place. This happened with other music or other songs, because I'm sure there's a ton of songs I'm in the exact right place for. This one, I dealt with this. I didn't have, I don't look back on therapy with insecurity and regret. I look at it the place where I made the most successful gains to get me to this moment here. Then, if I double down on that all being positive, the how I got there in the first place part doesn't become as important as my takeaway. Now, good fodder for a song. So don't get me wrong. Dig it. Not. Well, I don't know. Let me know. I don't know if I was coherent or not. I do like the tune. Aesop Rock, Shrunk. And the video is cool. The whole thing is cool. I'm ready to move on to the next one. This one was a handful, though. And like I said, this was I think fourth full reaction to get to this point. And it's still me, right? I'm not BSing my way through it. It just creates, this one created a lot of thought. I really, too much personal connection to some of it. Later.